Good day, YouTube. It is the 4th of April 2025. This is my John Deere zero-turn mower. It's a Easy Track Z225, I believe. And it has a replacement engine, an EX 1900 Briggs & Stratton 19 horsepower single cylinder. And I've already been mowing plenty with it in the 2025 mowing season, but I'm just now getting around to changing the oil for the year, and I have pulled the drain plug out to let the oil run everywhere. Now I've probably used 10 paper towels cleaning this up on the deck, and you can't believe the mess I have all the way around my drain pan underneath this thing because you can't control where the oil's going. So I have a substantial mess, and I have decided that I am not going to do this way again. However, I wish to change the oil in this machine very often, seeing how it is a replacement engine. And let's just make this thing last my lifetime or something. So I went down to Lowe's and picked up a variety of fittings. Okay, so we got like this is all 3/8, right? Because the plug we took out of the block is 3/8. So we got a 3/8 by 2 nipple. We have a 3/8 gate valve, a 3/8 close nipple, a 3/8 90, and a 3/8 by 3/8 threaded hose barb. My idea is to just take a piece of hose and we can cut it exactly to length to drop out the oil out that hole. So we'll put the hose down past there and just let it kind of dangle. At that point, all I got to do is open the valve and slide a drain pan under it in this location and let the oil out. Okay, I have a heck of a mess to clean up still, but let's get this installed. I got some thread sealer, so I haven't done that yet. I did want to show you all what's going on, and this valve should go that way to open itself up. They'll be 90 degrees away from each other when we're done. But let's see how this, hang on while I tighten this up a little bit. Okay, there we go. Sorry, one or two handed here. So I'll just slide this down there so you can get a feel for what we're headed for. So I've got to thread that in and that in and that in. It should be good. Yeah, I might not need more than a couple inches of hose, and that's okay. But we're gonna have to take all this apart to get it all threaded in, if I can get it all threaded in. Get underneath this wire and so forth. But you see what's going on. So let's get this going on. Right, here we go. Let's get the pipe thread sealer going here first. I hope we can get that 90 spun on there. I think it will. Okay, here we go. All right, boys and girls, we got all of these taped up. This will be the first piece, first two pieces actually. This is going to be hard to film, and because you can barely see it and get in there. So let me point you in the direction what's going on, then I'll bring you back after I get it installed. All right, it's been 2 or 3 more trips to the hardware store. I've had to change my design a couple times because I can't get this whole assembly to turn. So I'm going to start off in the engine block with this. Okay, we're going to go to this. Then we're going to go to the valve because I can move it. I can get it installed without taking the engine out. Okay. And then we're going to go to this. Okay, and then I'll tuck that down. I can adjust this length. It's a little long, no doubt. So now we can start off threading this in. I've got $50 some worth of parts here, and I'm not going to use them all, but there'll always be another. So let's see if we can thread anything in. I'm sure I'm going to need both hands at this. Yeah, you're not going to see a thing. Trying to get it started. Come on now. All right, I'll bring it back. All right, we got it all done. Put it in there. So, yeah, you can see it coming out of the engine block there. Got a clamp on it. We got the valve, and then we got that loop of hose, which will drop right down here past the exhaust to a bucket placed on the floor. That's going to be handy. Even though I had to make like 4 or 5 trips for fittings and such, I have a whole handful of fittings I didn't use. Anyway, I wiped up all the oil off of there. That won't happen anymore. And then I'm going to have to clean the floor, and that won't have to happen anymore. So, worth the effort. It's done. I'm going to put some oil in this thing, and let's go cut some grass. Alright guys, appreciate you watching the video. Thumbs up on the way out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And we'll see you on the next video.